Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
What's up, man?
What up, Big Sheikh? All right.
Yo, Sheikh is a dangerous word these days, man.
Oh, yeah, calm down. What up, brother?
Exactly. What's up, student of knowledge?
Alhamdulillah, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah. Sorry, man, to call you just
Off
randomly
the
like
cuff.
this.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
living life on the edge, mashallah.
You know, that's how we gotta do it in these times, man. The coronavirus times, you know.
Alhamdulillah. How are you doing?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are the kids?
Kids are good, alhamdulillah. I usually say, like, don't ask about the kids anymore. Ask about the parents. How are the parents doing?
Are you guys surviving?
Just barely making it through, alhamdulillah. How are you
Alhamdulillah.
doing, man? How's home life?
Wallahi, to be honest, you know what? I haven't missed the travel at all yet.
Really?
I haven't missed it. Not at all. I'm
That's
enjoying just being at home. My wife isn't enjoying it as much as I am, but she's kind of like, don't you have anywhere to be? And I went into 100% hibernation mode. Like, I went complete introvert.
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to go see anybody. There's no itching to go anywhere. I just turned into a hermit and I'm okay. We're going to ride out this 2020 like that, inshallah.
Yeah, I mean, I called it from day. I mean, whatever. But I told people around me. I said, people are saying like, oh, it's gonna be a couple months or whatever. I was like, no. I was like, and I'm still saying this, like, for the record, until we get a vaccine, like, this is how it's gonna be. And even after we get a vaccine, it's gonna take a long time for things to go back to like normal, So
For the
like people
mask
they gotta come to terms with that, make their peace with it.
Yeah. I mean, Houston, it was a couple of days ago. I mean, it really got heightened again in Houston. And I was walking around my building and there was nobody wearing a mask. And it was just infuriating. I'm like, these Texans, man. And I definitely would have told them to put on masks if I was wearing a mask. But I just felt like I didn't have the moral high ground. I didn't have the moral standing, you know what I'm saying? To get on that.
Man, it's so weird, dude. I feel like there's no like truth anymore, man. Like, everyone's got their truth, like everyone's got their worldview. Like, you can't even tell somebody to put on a mask. Like,
Everybody's got their conspiracy theory going.
dude, it's so frustrating, man. Like, literally, like, having conversation with somebody and they go, yeah, it's not real. Like, wait, what? Who told you it's real? Oh, doctors of the medical community, they're all in on it. Big pharma. I'm like, what?
So these people that we know who have had the virus, like, that was fake too? Like, how far did it go?
Dude, so I had a
Who
conversation with
passed
somebody.
away, that's fake too?
I had a conversation with somebody, and I was like, I know people who have passed away. I have family members that are doctors, like, they're in the field.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's everybody's in on it. And I'm like, wait, hold on. All the doctors,
Wow.
all across America, they're like, yeah, don't doctors get like a kickback for medication and things like, and it's like, I'm like, you think every doctor has to be, it's like the moon landing, right? Like, that never made sense to me, because I'm like, how many, like, thousands of people would have to agree to that for that secret to stay hidden,
It would have everybody agreeing to a lie. How has the lack of traveling been with you?
So, as like, I identify as an introvert. So if I'm indoors, if time by myself, it's always great for me. But like, I'm one of those instructors that I go to like another country and I spend most of my time like in my room. They're like, hey, Sheikh, you want to see like this and that, like the whatever, like, attractions are there.
You want to see this $5,000 attraction we have going on here?
They're like, Sheikh, but you came from thousands. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So like, usually I'll do like a drive-by. Like that, it kind of frustrates some people. And like, I've been to so many places, but I haven't seen a lot of like the main stuff.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like, people get upset on my behalf. Like, they're upset at me. Like, why didn't you go? I'm like, listen, I enjoyed the time the way I wanted to enjoy my time, right? But so like that hasn't bothered me. I'm
You're a
still,
righteous man. You don't want to corrupt your intention. You went for da'wah. That was your intention. It was not to go sightsee or to go tourist or, you know what I mean? You're just like, I want to go to my hotel room. Maybe send me a sandwich. Room service would be best.
that is actually the way I do it. They're like, hey, Sheikh, you want to go out to eat or whatever? I'm like, nope, let's just pick up some food. Better yet, like Uber Eats. I love Uber Eats. I'm like,
Wow.
don't worry about it. I got it. I'll order my own food. Like it'll come to the room. Everything's great. But so that's been cool for me. Like I haven't felt that. It's been totally normal. Just the lack of teaching, right, has been weird for me because
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
And that like human connection of like teaching students that are in front of you and they can react and you get their feedback. And so that has been like really difficult for me to, adapt to teaching online. How
But
have you felt?
you went pretty active with the Instagram lives and all of that. Alhamdulillah. You stayed connected. How did that go?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was, is that him?
Yeah. Hind is trying to make an appearance, but alhamdulillah, she didn't. I try to keep her off camera, so
No, I'm
sometimes
like,
she tries to bully to see who's on the screen. Yeah.
I'm the same way, man. My kids are not, they're not anywhere online.
Mm.
And like, my stance on that issue.
Yeah. I learned it from you.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I've told you before, I don't think it's fair to kids, to put their lives online.
Mm.
I told Leif, by the way, like, I said, look, he doesn't understand what I'm saying right now, but like once you're 18, like I have all your videos and all your photos and whatever. Like if you at that point decide to put everything online, like that's up to you, right? As an adult, you can make that decision. But I'm not gonna do that to you. Like, I'm not gonna put your life online.
For me, it was also because I don't want to turn into the like, your child is to you is like the cutest thing in the world, the most.
Yeah.
Right? And I realized that not everybody's gonna see my kid like that. I mean, it's just natural. And so let me not become blinded by my love for my child that I sit there and I start posting about her all the time.
Dude, I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. And for two reasons. Number one, like as a parent myself, I have two kids, alhamdulillah. Like I have a rule. Like even to family members, if I'm sending them a video, it's got to be like 10 seconds or less. If I'm sending photos, it's like one or two photos because I know like there's only so much you can watch of other people. Like even me, like as a parent, I see like other kids. After a while, I'm like, okay, that's great. Like
yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay,
fine,
no one's gonna see your kids like you see them.
Yeah, exactly. So my rule is videos got to be under 10 seconds. And people have to like really tell me that they want to see my kid. Like I really want to, like my parents and stuff, they'll like, get on my case. But on that, I'm like, I'm not doing that to
Grandparents
anybody.
are like parents, though. Grandparents they probably like your kids more than they like you right now.
Of course.
And the other thing I noticed is my sisters. My sisters are just like, it's about girls. Like girls love girls. They love dressing them up. There's so much more that they can do with girls as far as accessorizing. And so even though my sisters they have sons, but they just die over pictures of the girl in the family. So back to Instagram Live. So you were saying?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just kind of it was cool for a while, but it got, I don't know. It was its own thing. I realized it didn't make up for like teaching live, right? And I didn't see, so I would do like the open Q&As and I don't know. I kind of lost, I don't want to say I lost interest in it. I didn't see too much benefit coming out of it.
I see what you're saying.
A lot of questions were pretty, like, it's like the same 24 questions you get asked in different ways. The same questions get asked in different ways. And then the other problem for me was most of the questions I would say were questions that like people need counseling. They need to be counseled for that question that they're asking. They don't need like a quick, like 10, 15-second answer. Yeah. So that's why I shut that down.
I know you don't do DMs, but those questions are the same. It's literally like, this is a life-altering legal decision. Can you please give me advice? And I'm like, it sounds like you need like a local imam /lawyer /counselor for this type of a question. not really
Exactly.
something that you can be asked about in a DM. But you're going to be teaching the Sweden Qabila soon, aren't you? Can you get
Yeah.
back in the game?
Yeah. I'm actually very excited. Like it's been a while now, like what, 4 months more that
Yeah.
I've taught an AlMaghrib seminar. So even though it's not going to be exactly the same, like the on-site thing, but the fact that and I told AlMaghrib, I'm like, I'm going to stand and teach. I'm going to teach to, like, in my mind, I'm there, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully we can work out like the mechanics of it. But I'm looking forward to it, inshallah. And I'm glad it's like restricted to that qabila, to that location. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Do you have any classes coming up? Are you teaching anything?
I'm going to teach your hood, man. Virginia. Nuren.
Okay.
August 29th, inshallah. So that's going to be my first. So we're going to try to teach live and see how it goes. I don't know how I'm going to look at a screen and talk for 4 hours or 8 hours or however long it ends up being.
I'm excited. And part of the excitement is also like new territory. Like we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll find some way to, I'm sure there's going to be certain things that we're able to do because of an online format that we wouldn't be able to do in person. So that's exciting as well.
So that's all about the technology. Like I know with Zoom, you can share your screen, you can draw, you can like showcase things.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do any of that yet. So I got like 2 months to figure that out. But I'm excited at the prospect. Yeah. Engaging with people. I think you can like really focus in on answering people's questions. For example, you're not, for me, when I get interrupted, I lose my train of thought all the time. So I'm looking forward to not being interrupted during a class. But at the same time, I can't not, if someone raises their hand, I don't know how to not call on them. I don't know how to. So it's kind of like, you know what? My train of thought is gone. Khalas, we might as well just go and go for this.
That's why, my rule, right? When I teach,
Oh,
you don't know?
no.
So since day one, I do not take questions while I'm talking.
Mm.
Like I literally, in the beginning of the seminar, I say like, you can raise your hand and we'll even make eye contact, but I'm
Yeah.
still not going to answer I'm still not going to
You're
address like,
cold-blooded, man.
dude, I'm not cold
just gonna
blooded. I'm
stare at them,
ADD.
huh? Just gonna
No, man,
stare at them.
I'm ADD is what I
Yeah,
am, right?
yeah.
I'm like, once I start answering your question, like I'm gonna forget what I'm talking about, and like I'm gonna lose my flow, and
That's what
then
happened to me. I just
also
don't know. I don't know how to like rate. If it's like you raise your hand, and then I'll be like, I was literally just about to make that point. Thank you, or something of that nature.
yeah. I mean, I have a list of issues why I don't do it. So number one, like I get distracted, I lose my train of thought. Number two, tangents upon tangents upon tangents, and then you're in some different like world, right?
Yeah,
And then the course material suffers. Number three, a lot of the questions are like, hey, okay, it's coming up. Like just
yeah,
hold on, like,
yeah,
next session or blah, blah.
yeah.
So my quick way of dealing with that is I'm like, look, if you have a question that comes to your mind, just write it down. Like, I don't want you to not ask me your question. Just write it down. And that's why people pass up the questions and I'll take a look at them in the breaks. I could easily be like, this is coming up or whatever, or answer questions in that way. But
Mm.
yeah, like some people don't like that about my class. Like I know I've come to terms with that. To be like, no, he doesn't answer questions. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like that's the best I can do.
Yeah. Have you picked up any new hobbies in quarantine?
I find myself going back to some of my old hobbies that I had kind of left. So I used to like draw and sketch and like
Mm.
doodle kind of. But I lost, I mean, I have an art background, right? So I'm getting back into that, like just for fun. A couple other things that I didn't have time for. Like I haven't worked on my bike in a while. The last time I had to get work done, I took it to a shop. They did the oil change or whatever, which just felt wrong. But
Mm.
now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna change my oil. I gotta change the spark plugs, change the air filter, and I'm like, I'm excited to like do it by myself because I actually have the time to do it.
Nice.
Things like that. Alhamdulillah. How about you?
Have I picked up any new hobbies? I've become more of a do-it-yourself type of guy. So these do-it-yourself videos on YouTube, just
Yeah.
fixing things that have been broken around the apartment, or things that I would have replaced. So I have 2 cats. The cats chew up my wires. They chew up my Mac wires. They chew up my lighting wires. They chew up my whatever. And so I've learned how to, replace wires and cut wires and fix wires and things like that. That's the most
Yeah.
recent pickup. Been able to bring to life a couple of chargers and things like that that have died recently on me.
Have
You
you
gotta,
been helping around the house
of
more?
course, man. I'm very helpful, bro. Very helpful. I'm very helpful. My problem is I'm just here. That's the problem. But
Yeah.
when I'm around, I'm helpful. I don't
Dude,
have
I I know like this may sound like I'm like, begging myself or whatever. I actually enjoy housework. Like it's
mashallah.
very calming for me, right?
Yeah.
Especially like my boys have been through like the living room. It's like a war zone, right?
Mm.
And to go from that to like, okay, I need like, 20, 30 minutes to just get everything back to like nice and clean and organized, whatever. Like that makes me feel really good on that. So I've always enjoyed that. Alhamdulillah.
So I don't enjoy it, but for me, it's a challenge. Like a challenge. You know something actually I learned from Sheikh Abdul Bari a long time ago. He was
Yeah.
talking about how in Medina his room was always like spotless.
Yeah.
And how people used to, always like to come and hang out in his room. And he was like, it's like a mental habit. He was like, if you wait for everything to accumulate, then it'll just obviously accumulate, it'll grow, and then it
Yeah.
becomes a big mission. But say, for example, every time you walk into the kitchen, you just wash one dish,
Yeah.
single dish. How long does that take? Like 6 seconds, 10 seconds. But how many times do you walk into the kitchen? Like while your coffee is brewing, for example, I have a Keurig. While that's brewing, instead of sitting there on my phone waiting for it to brew, that's 5, 6 dishes right there.
Yeah.
And then while something's in the microwave for a minute, that's another 7, 8 dishes right there, right? So it's just throughout the day, you're just cleaning.
I'm laughing because that makes complete sense, right? Like that's probably the best way to do it. And I can see Sheikh Abdul, like I know him, like that makes complete sense. I'm laughing because I'm the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like I like to see things pile up. So when I go like do something, I see progress. I'm like, oh, I made a difference.
Mashallah, mashallah.
So it's so dirty, and then like I cleaned everything up. So it's like a sense of accomplishment,
Oh, for me, I'll see that huge pile. I'll be like, man, that looks like a lot. Save it for tomorrow. That's about it.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Have you been spending more time online than usual?
Yeah, a lot of time online. A lot of time online. A lot of it is like AlMaghrib's work has just become so much.
Yeah.
We're trying to shift to doing all of this online work. But have I been spending more time online outside of that? No.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No. Like for what? There's nothing. There's nothing that's taken me online more than that. I mean.
So do you keep in touch with like Muslim Twitter?
No.
Like, are you in the know?
I'm not on Twitter much. Twitter much. If it's something big enough that it reaches me, yes.
Yeah.
But I like a daily person on Twitter, no. So I have no idea.
So I used to be like that. On all my social media, I don't spend time on social media. I just post and I'm out. But since the quarantine, I've been spending more time on Twitter, and I actually regret it now.
I don't like Twitter at all. No. Twitter for me is like, I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel my iman go down on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
I get disappointed a lot. So I guess for me, it's not worth it.
I think I gotta go back to the way I was, man. It's really messing with me. Like you're right. Like, there's the iman side of it as well. Definitely, I can feel that. But also, like, it's like sometimes it's like, I don't know. It's really disappointing sometimes, and it's just like the stuff you see on there is like, and I know like that's the reality, right? So just because you're closing your eyes doesn't mean it's not happening. But at the same time, like, just exposing yourself to it so much is not, like, I don't know, it's not good. I don't think it's good for our like emotional health, emotional well-being, nor spiritual. Like, especially Muslim Twitter, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't even aware of like Muslim Twitter before the quarantine. Like, people were like, oh, MT. I'd see it like in tweets. I'd be like, I don't know what that means. And then now it's like, I started following more. That's the other mistake I did. I started following more people. I was like, oh, I can get the news. And especially, when honestly, like, with Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so this is a good way to like, keep in, see what's going on, get the latest. And then it just snowballed from there. And then like you see Muslim Twitter, oh man, it's insane, man. And every day it's just a new, a new controversy, just something else going on. Something's happening. Somebody's getting canceled. Somebody's getting called out. Somebody did this. Somebody did that.
People getting called out, and people don't know how to converse. They don't know how to argue. People lie, and that lie will have thousands of retweets, and no one cares about the truth in that instant. People get slandered. Communities get slandered. For me, it's just very vexing and disappointing at the same time. So I'm not very involved in it. And you're right. Like, even though that does, but again, is Twitter the pulse? Is it the reality? That's another thing, right? Because Twitter, it's not. I don't think it's the reality. That's not to say that what we see in our masajid is the reality, but
I mean, it's definitely part of the reality, right? At least a slice of it. A certain demographic, is all about Twitter. So it's weird, man. Like, alhamdulillah, I've still kept to my like own rules of not reacting to things happening, especially like controversies and stuff like that. And alhamdulillah, I'm still like that. And I want to keep it that way. But I can see how it can get really out of hand, like every time something happens, you got to write something, you got to react to, you got to make a post and this and that, and I've never been like that. And I've noticed you're not like that either, right?
Alhamdulillah, I try as best as I can to never talk about people ever.
Yeah. That's
a goal.
But a lot of people, it's like, it's you won't talk about it, but it's like indirectly, like people talk about, what is it called? Passive aggressive or
tweeting.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to do that either. I mean, I would rather just build. And a lot of times, especially when you're talking about people who you're not in their community, are you really having an effect on the conversation? And then if your goal is da'wah, are you bringing them any closer to Allah? Are you resolving the problem in any meaningful way? For me, that's the goal. So if that's not the goal, then I'm not interested.
And that's the thing, right? Does anything ever get resolved online?
I've never in my life seen two people arguing back and forth and one of them say, you know what? Thanks for cursing me out.
Jazakallah khair.
My position.
Yeah, never. It never happened. It's just everybody shouting each other and nobody's listening to anybody.
Yeah.
That's
so what, for me, most of the time, I don't even, if I get challenged in comments of my own post or something like that, I just don't see, and I'm not the argumentative type. So I don't see the need of going back and forth very much. But I'll tell you something, a hadith that I just love very much, and that is whoever lives in the desert becomes harsh. Man sakana al-badiya jafa.
Yeah.
And social media is a desert. People are all alone.
Yeah.
So they don't know civility. They don't know how to actually interact with each other anymore. And that's why there's so much harshness, because that refinement that comes through social interaction, I mean, is lost on people over years and years and years of interacting online. And so I would love to do more like programs that are cell phone-less in the future, inshallah, after the scope of business, inshallah, is lifted from us.
Yeah.
We're talking about retreats. We're talking where people just really just have to sit there, no Wi-Fi, no phones, nothing, and interact again, like the good old days.
Dude, I always tell my students, I said, look, it's normal to have a reaction to current events or things happening or whatever, right? It's normal as human beings, and we want to talk to somebody about it. We want to express our feelings. That's normal. So go talk to a real human being, right? Preferably like somebody, like a mentor or somebody, and you can discuss this issue in person. And I know that's difficult now, right? But that
That's
is
but
far better.
even before that was difficult. Like how many times have people tried to call, for example, even call me, right? And they want to have a long drawn out conversation. I'm just like, man, I don't have the time for that. You know what I mean? I'll just be honest. Like, you know, so yes, I understand that's true. Because keep in mind also, one of the negatives of celebrity culture is that those are the people whom everybody is kind of wanting to reach out to all the time about all of their
Yeah.
issues. And
Yeah.
so these people become, the more in demand they become, the less time that they actually have
Yeah.
for all of these meaningful relationships. And that's why we have to teach people also that the murabbi is not necessarily the celebrity,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
It doesn't even have to be necessarily the sheikh, right? At all.
Definitely. Definitely.
It could be that older brother or that older sister, or, you know, that brother who's your age, or that sister, but just happens to have incredible wisdom and grounding.
100%. 100%. We really gotta drill this idea. Like we gotta let people know, like, listen, you're not gonna get like you're not gonna get anywhere with a celebrity sheikh or imam. Like you can't have a conversation. What are you gonna learn? Like, yeah, you can, listen to their stuff and benefit, and that's great. But if you're really trying to like better yourself and, talk through some of these issues, and, you know, you have to talk to somebody who you have access to, right? And even, when it comes to seeking fatwa, um, one of the conditions is you should seek fatwa from someone you have access to, right? If you get, like, let's say it's like a celebrity sheikh, you see them once a year at a conference for 20 seconds, you can talk to them, and you're like, yeah, that's my sheikh. That's not your sheikh. You're not taking, like, you can't, what
Yeah.
happens when you have a question about your salah, like, oh, is this right or is that right? Somebody you can call up, somebody you can, and that means, yeah, they may be a student of knowledge, but, they may not be the biggest sheikh in the world, but access is so important, man. And
Absolutely.
that is a problem. I totally agree. That's a problem that we're dealing when it comes to like celebrity, like sheikhs and stuff, celebrity mounds and stuff, for sure. And I think that's what sometimes we don't, like, in our space, we don't realize it, right? Like as teachers and, public speakers, instructors, because we don't have a problem with that, right? Because when I want to call up my sheikh, it's not a problem, right? Or you want to call up your sheikh, or you want to call up whatever, you have easy access, right? So
Yeah.
you don't look at, oh, is this person well known? Are they a celebrity? You're just like, oh, this is my sheikh, I have access to them. But I think the average person, it's a lot more difficult for them, to be honest. And one of the reasons is they're looking at celebrity sheikhs only, and not maybe people in their own community that are maybe not popular online. Maybe they don't even have a Facebook page or like a Twitter page or whatever.
I would say that's also one of the reasons why righteous companionship is so important.
Yeah.
A lot of people, their immediate circle isn't necessarily righteous. And
Yeah.
so they actually almost have to import advice, right?
For sure. For
And the
sure.
only person that they know, for example, is that righteous or celebrity that they follow or what have you.
Yeah.
But if you had a circle of righteous people around you, you'd actually get grounded, good advice. You'd have access, right? You'd
Yeah.
have access. I think
Yeah.
about myself when I'm 15. When I was 13, I had problems praying. I was never like one of those kids who avoided praying, but it was just something that I would always forget. Something I would always forget. Something I'd always forget. Pray Dhuhr, forget Asr. Pray Asr, Isha, forget Fajr. You know what I mean? Just like that. And so I remember talking to a mentor of mine who was 14, right? But he was the wise 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, just pray for 30 days straight. Make that your goal, right? In the challenge, 30 days.
Yeah.
And inshallah, you'll be able to pray. I
Yeah.
didn't even know any shuyukh. Like there's nobody in the world that I had access to as far as a sheikh at
Yeah.
that time. And it worked 100%. We didn't even know 27 days, you need 27 days to form a habit or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so just having righteous people in your sphere, people that you know, it helps a lot because
Yeah.
like you mentioned, a lot of these questions don't even really require a sheikh or a fatwa or anything like that, but they just require grounding and guidance and support.
And yeah, absolutely. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do is I wanted to call you up. And I wanted people to see like what our lives are like, that we're not just on our own,
This is what my
just
life
trying to
is
deal
like.
with this stuff.
This is what my life
Wow.
is like.
It's amazing, man.
This is just sunbathing.
Some people's cats are celebrities, by the way. Just want to let
MashaAllah.
you
I
know.
need to invest. These are like the cutest cats.
You gotta make an Instagram page for your cat
I really
and
do.
take like glamour shots and stuff.
I need to take an Instagram page and a YouTube channel also for them.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah. No, man, but I wanted people to see this, right? Because in my life, this is, me calling you up. I do this all the time. Like I've other people, colleagues and friends that I will just hit up and be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And through that casual conversation, we actually end up talking about a lot of stuff. Another person that I'm close to is Ustad Majid. Sometimes I'll just call him up. He'll call me up. And because we're going through like similar issues, we can talk through it. And sometimes like maybe I'm looking at something, incorrectly, or he can give me a perspective that I wasn't thinking about. And it's helped me quite a few times.
But you used as you just used as a reference like another celebrity sheikh. You're like, that's called a humble brag. When I just call up Ustad Majid Mahmoud, no big deal.
But I'm like, okay, you're right. You're right. That's.
So if you had mentioned like a local friend of yours who's an engineer, that would have been more helpful for people.
But here's the thing, right? Like let me defend that, right? First of all, you're right. That's a privilege that a lot of people don't have. I completely admit that.
Yeah.
Also, for me to call up someone like that is someone who I can relate to and someone who can relate to me, because they're in a very similar space, in the same space that I'm in, right? And they're experiencing what I'm experiencing. So, there are times a lot of times I need to speak to someone like that who can understand what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with. So that's, that doesn't completely justify it. but for me, that's honestly, that's one of the reasons why, like, speaking to you, I mean, I know I've spoken to you before about like your class or whatever, like, oh, how's it going? And like, what did you learn? Or like, and there's things that you might've caught teaching that I didn't. Alhamdulillah, I can benefit from that. I can't ask the local engineer or whatever about, traveling and teaching and stuff.
Like that, yeah. What's that on the, I always enjoy your graphic tees. What's on the shirt?
Oh man. So you know what, SubhanAllah, a lot of times I don't even pay attention to my shirts.
Yeah.
Until like on like YouTube comments or something, somebody like says, like, what is that? What's going on here? Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, I should have thought more about, but this is, it's actually just like a gas mask.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a cool shirt. People often read into my shirts. They're like, oh, what does it mean? Like, what is he trying to say? Or, whatever. And it's like, no, it's just, I like the design, it's cool. So that's why I'm wearing it.
So I'm a minimalist by nature when it comes to clothes. And I got a message today from somebody saying, you need to upgrade your wardrobe because all of your videos are like the same 3 shirts.
And
but to be fair, I have multiple versions of the same shirt. That's in my defense. But at the same time, I'm so particular. And when I like something, it's just, and I'm pretty basic. It's just black or, black or white.
I know some people have this impression of me, like being really into like fashion and all that kind of stuff or whatever. However, recently I'm kind of like, I'm really beginning to relate to you in that matter. And I'll tell you why.
Where did they get that impression? Some people have an impression that you're into fashion. Could it be that you have a fashion line? Could it be that you teach the fiqh of fashion? Could it be that, I mean, where would they get such a ridiculous idea?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like some people have that idea. Yeah. I don't know, man. Who knows where they got it from? Yeah. But like for real though, I've been so recently. So I like wearing a lot of black because I just think black is just elegant and it's just simple and it looks nice.
And it's classic.
Classic, exactly. So recently I've just been, there's like, I found a really nice black tee that fits me well. It just falls nice or whatever. And, it's in summer, it's hot. I bought like 4 or 5 of those tees. And like, that's just all, especially, with recording videos and stuff. Cause I was like, so many times I'd wear like my regular, like superhero tees and stuff. And always like, that's an issue, right? Like, what is it? Why is he wearing blah, blah. Yeah. So now I'm wearing like it's the same black tee that I've been wearing. If people see my videos, you'll see the same black tee. It's not the same one, obviously. I have like a bunch of them, but it makes my life so much easier. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting old, but like I completely like I'm loving it. So my new thing is I'll wear like my outfits usually like very simple these days. I mean, obviously I don't go out that much anyway, so I'm sure that contributed to it. But simple outfit, I usually wear like black, or grays, whatever. But then like my kicks, I gotta like make sure like my kicks are, really put thought in my kicks.
So I got my first pair of Jordans this past Eid.
MashaAllah, Allahumma barik.
Ever in my life. It was given as a gift to me.
What Jordans were they?
Jordan 1s.
Allah,
which are the ones that I like.
The best ones, man. The best ones. Hands down.
Super excited, and they're bright red. And
wait, hold on.
I don't wear color like that.
Are they highs or mids or lows?
Highs.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. So they're red and what? Don't tell me you got the Chicago ones, because that would be amazing, dude.
They're red, white, and black.
Yo, that's.
I think they are. I don't know. I'm not a sneakerhead. I don't really know, but I like the Jordans. I mentioned that, and boom! Next thing I knew, it was on Eid. One of my family members got me the Jordan 1s. So,
dude, how much those are worth?
I'm assuming they were worth like $150.
How much?
I think around $150.
So retail, yeah, I think like Jordan 1s are usually 160 or so, 120, 160. I don't remember exactly. But resale on those, depending on exactly which ones you have, but anywhere from like 300 to 1,000 more.
So maybe I should sell it.
I mean, that's a whole nother.
I have some friends. I have some friends who will buy. I mean, they just flip sneakers. They'll buy it, wear it once, and then they'll just sell it.
I mean, if you're flipping, you don't wear it, because as soon as you wear it, like you lose a lot of value. But I'm really curious now. So after this call, send me a picture, because I really want to know now which Allahumma barik, may Allah bless your shoes and
when I teach my Nuren class, I'm gonna have to have a camera on my feet.
For sure. And I was actually thinking about that, by the way, because I always I'm like, how are people, it's the outfit, right? You got to wear the whole outfit. So how do you set up the camera where?
Actually, I wasn't thinking about that at all, but sure, let's go with that. You gave me not just fashion advice once, but you gave me a fashion slogan to live by.
Oh man.
Do you remember it? It was back. I had a Viking vest. So I told you, when I like something, I just kind of stick with it. So I had a Viking vest. I have a Viking vest because I haven't gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
It's this big leather vest that I would wear over thobes and things like that. And I would get so much pushback on it from people. People either loved it or they hated it. And those who hated it would give me so much pushback.
Yeah.
So in a moment of self-doubt, I don't even think it was a moment of self-doubt, but I think it was a discussion in the chat. And then I see Sa'ad Taslim send a message that says, Ammar, do you, boo? I was like, he has spoken. The fashion icon has given me license.
No, man. I thought what I usually say, by the way, is the most fashionable thing is what you're the most comfortable and confident in, right? So that's it. That's for me. So I'm like, yeah, of course, you do you. Like, you like it, khalas, who cares what other people think, man? You feel good in it, like, alhamdulillah.
I was having a discussion earlier today, actually, with my family about the problem, however, is when a person, so you're talking about just black, kind of simple look, or being really fashionable. And the problem is when you're really fashionable, a lot of times that doesn't stand the test of time. And so when you look back at people from the early 2000s, or if you look back people 10, 15 years ago, the 90s, the 80s, you look at them and you're like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
Right? The opposing view, however, is that there are some looks that are just classic. It doesn't matter if it's the 50s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. You look back at them in any period and you say they still looked good. But then you have the extreme manifestations that end up looking good.
I don't know, man. I think I have to disagree with that.
That it looks weird?
No, two things. Number one, who says black and all black can't be fashionable. But that's whatever. That's another point.
No, it could be very fashionable and it can be iconic for sure.
Okay. Yes. So the
I
other
mean,
thing
I
that
wear
I
all black a lot, and I'm
yeah.
definitely fashionable and iconic
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah.
and humble.
Yeah. So the other thing, look, I just don't think you can live like that. Like I don't think one should live like that. Like, oh, how is this gonna look in 30 years? You know? Like it's really hard to be like, oh, I have to wear something that's gonna last the test of time. Like, I don't know, man. Like, alhamdulillah, it looks good, you know, obviously it's halal, right? But it looks good and all that kind of stuff. You feel good in it, alhamdulillah. So what? 10 years later, you're like, oh, that looked pretty whack. Or, you know, but you gotta be like, for that time, it was amazing, right? I already have things back from like when I started teaching on Maghrib. I'm like, oh, why did I wear that? You know?
So you're already feeling regret.
Yeah, but it's not regret though. It's
Okay.
a little bit of regret, but part of it, I'm like, at that time, I liked it. It looked good on me. Like I think it looked good on me, and I felt good in it. So who cares? Like now, you know. And that's, as human beings, we're always changing, man. Where our sense of style is evolving, and that's fine. I think that shows growth. So I don't live like that. I don't live like, you know, whatever. How's it gonna look in, you know, alhamdulillah.
You're all about killing it in the present. MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Cool.
Jazakallah khair, man. I'm gonna let you go. It's Maghrib
Yeah.
time here.
Okay.
But thank you so much for
Thanks for the random call. Appreciate it.
yeah, I'll call you again in a couple months. And it's gonna be random. It's not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna call you, we're gonna record it, but I'm just gonna be like, yo, I'm calling you now.
Okay.
We're gonna catch up, inshallah.
Oh, sorry. No problem.
Jazakallah khair, man.
Bye.
Take care. Hopefully I'll see you soon in person, man, inshallah.
Hope so.
I'm
Inshallah.
looking forward to it. Inshallah ta'ala.
Allah barik.
Take care, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.